So, my pitch. My project's about identity and wallets, and at first the idea originated from just wallets and looking at my own wallet and being like, what can I learn from this about myself? What could someone who stole my wallet learn about me? And I realised it's quite a lot. And then through my research, I worked out that my project at the core is about identity, people, understanding who they are. So my aim and purpose is to produce an art piece with a deep amount of meaning, at least to me, but hopefully communicating that meaning and message to other people and having them resonate with it and thinking about their own wallet and, well, their own identity, how they present themselves. But then also to learn new software is always a good one, is to develop my own understanding and further my career. I previously felt that in my art, I make art just for the sake of making it, which isn't necessarily bad, but I want to communicate more with my art. I want there to be a purpose, an aim. And I hope that people get an understanding of identity from the art piece, as that is the message. But I want the art piece to inspire someone else's art. I don't want it to just be one and done. I want it to have its meaning and to other people who are the audience. And for my research, I did 14 pieces of research and counting, but the main three that stood out were minimalism, the idea of third spaces, and the idea of legacy, honouring, and immortality in art. So to go into them, minimalism is quite well known, but it's a philosophy at its core of simple living, of getting rid of physical objects and having a minimal amount to minimise your worries because you're not attached to them, to not have too much sentiment. And I feel like within art, it became an art statement and about minimal art, but when it became an art piece and a fashion device, it lost its original meaning because it became about, I have this really cool art piece, I have this really cool fashion designer on me. It became about quiet luxury, it became a rich statement. And so it lost its original financial, getting rid of the financial burden, it became a financial burden. So I want the art piece to go back to the original philosophy and be an art piece, not a product. It's free to all, accessible to a wide audience. And then the idea of third spaces was a term coined by Ray Oldenburg, and it's the idea of a environment that isn't your home and it isn't your work. It's somewhere you go to detox from these places. But recently it's become digital in the modern age because people don't want to spend money, they don't want to go out when it's so much easier to just have a community online. And so I want my subjects to take me to their physical third space, and I'm going to photograph them as such. And then the idea of legacy, honouring, and immortality in art really struck me because it was about how different people define art, how I define art, and I define it as communication. And I think it's about also understanding who you're honouring with your art, the message that you're immortalising, because that message carries even after you've just gone. That message will carry on throughout your art, and it will strike something in someone else. And I hope that everyone has the moral standing to have that art message be a positive one. And so to get research from my subjects, I need research to understand who they are, to make this magazine about them. So I would be doing brief research about them over a interview over food, and I want it to be a conversation, not an interrogation. So I want them to be calm, not feel like I'm pressuring them for an answer. And so I thought food, that's the best way to connect, it's communal. And I'll be hopefully video recording all of them and then editing a trailer for promotional use to really sell this art piece that I'm making. And right now I have 9 subjects, including myself. I hope to dedicate at least a 2-page spread to everyone. So that's 18 pages of subjects, but then also a page explaining the idea of the magazine and a cover and a back, so that's 20 pages total so far. I have a list of people that range in ages, range in race, and who they are as well, like the careers they do, the subjects they learn. And the future of my research, I still have to research into each subject. I don't even know what that is yet, because everyone has stuff I don't know yet. But it's about also researching into magazines themselves and the audiences of magazines. Talking of audience, I need to understand my audience. And because it's an art piece, not a product, I want my audience to be everyone. I want it to reach as many people as possible. But if I had to pick an audience, it would be artists, other documentary photographers, casual viewers of art. It would be people who understand art and want to gain inspiration from such, whether that inspiration just be an idea or something they go and create. I won't be advertising it as a product because of my whole thesis about that, but I'll be advertising it as an art piece for people to access digitally, and through my promotion, be promoting the messaging, but with the portraits and the trailers and just teasing things here and there on social media to a final release of the magazine on a website for people to download for free. So on that subject, the initial ideas of final deliverables is a website to host all of the final deliverables, them being a trailer of interviews, a magazine, digital magazine, but also I'm going to print myself a physical copy to say I have a tangible art piece, a video tour of the magazine that goes into details people may miss, but I really love, a PDF version that, again, is free to download, a promotional movement on Instagram with the trailers and also the separate collection of portraits, because I realised that all the photos I'm taking, it's going to be difficult to pick one, so I want to have a way to show everything I did. The magazine itself, I made a mock-up, and I want it to show each person's identity. So this would be what my one looks like, quite minimal. It's light colour palette, it's very well organised. But through the interview and learning about someone, I might realise, they're nothing like this mock-up. They don't want to look like this mock-up. And I want to honour the person. I don't want to do a disservice. So I'll try and personalise it as much as I can to them and go back to them and be like, does this look like you? Does this resonate with who you are? So the next steps in problem solving. A large boundary I'm going to face is the fact that I'm relying on people for the whole project, well, at least a big portion of it. And that means I've picked the most reliable people in my life, and I'm going to work to their schedule. Because if I say turn up on this day, they're not going to have a reason to commit. But if I make way for them, it will be easier on their part. I want to make this as comfortable and easy for the people that I'm making my subjects, because all I'm doing is taking from them, so I might as well give them leeway there. And I may face on-the-day problems, like equipment difficulties, cancellation, the weather, but I know from my previous school and personal projects that I'm very calm under pressure. I'm a resourceful person. I know I'll find a way to make the best product with what I have on the day. And throughout the project, I have been and will continue to self-evaluate, have one-on-ones with tutors, peer review, but then especially checking in with the subjects that I'm honouring, because I need to represent them accurately. I can't just tell them I'm committing to it and then half it. I need to be fully committed. And I've made my own schedule for the project, and I'm continuing to edit it and refine it as I get more information. But that's about it on the actual admin. But then, that's about it on the whole my project about identity and wallets. I want my slogan to be an art piece, not a product. That's it.
Well done.